Imagine spending $100,000 on a single bottle of rare Scotch whiskey, only to find out it's a fake. Welcome to the shadowy world of whiskey forgery, a hidden underbelly of the spirits industry now worth billions of dollars globally. This isn't just petty counterfeiting. This is high-stakes fraud where collectors, connoisseurs, even world-renowned auction houses have been fooled. As prices of rare bottles soar into the 6- and 7-figure range, so does the motivation to fake them. And with some bottles over 50, even 100 years old, who really knows what's inside? In this video, we're pulling back the curtain. We'll expose how fake bottles are made with stunning precision, how even the smartest collectors, celebrities, and investors are getting duped, and most importantly, how you can spot the red flags before it's too late. This isn't just about old glass and rare liquids. This is a story about obsession, greed, and one of the biggest auction scandals in whiskey history. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how the counterfeit game works and how to protect yourself from it. First, let's understand the why. In the past decade, the rare whiskey market has gone from a quiet collector's niche to one of the most lucrative luxury investments on earth. A bottle of Macallan 1926 recently sold for over $2 million. Yamazaki 55-year, over $750,000. For many, these aren't just drinks. They're status symbols, and in some cases, financial assets. Collectors now treat rare whiskey like liquid gold, something to be bought, stored, and sold at ever higher prices. And where there's gold, there's greed. Where there's money, there's fraud. Unlike fine wine, whiskey doesn't spoil once bottled. That means a 60-year-old bottle can be passed around for decades without losing drinkability, making it ideal for resale. But here's the problem. There's no central authority that verifies every bottle, no universal registry, no government-mandated authentication system. In other words, the perfect playground for forgers. From counterfeit labels printed to perfection, to bottles refilled with cheap spirit, forgers have learned how to mimic the rarest whiskeys so well. Even seasoned collectors have been fooled. And with auctions willing to accept bottles on trust, the money keeps flowing, and so does the fraud. So, how exactly do counterfeiters turn an empty bottle into a $10,000 payday? It's disturbingly simple and surprisingly sophisticated. First, they need the real thing, or at least part of it. Often it's an empty bottle from a rare release. Sometimes it's fished out of the recycling bin of an upscale bar. Real glass, real cork, real labels. The perfect starting point. Next, it's filled. The liquid could be a cheap supermarket whiskey, a low-end version from the same distillery, or a crude blend mixed to taste expensive. To most drinkers and even some collectors, it looks authentic. Then they make it look unopened. Wax caps are reheated and remolded. Security seals can be faked. And with 3D printing, even a custom cork or foil wrapper can be reproduced in hours. Finally, the label. High-resolution printers can replicate antique fonts and artwork perfectly. To add credibility, forgers age the paper with tea stains, sandpaper scuffs, even smoke. Some go further, creating forged distillery letters or fake provenance documents to prove the bottle's history. Fake bottles can cost just $100 to make and sell for $10,000 plus. It's a high-reward, low-risk game, and for the untrained eye or even experienced collectors, Spotting the difference can be almost impossible. Let's dive into one of the most shocking scandals in whiskey history, the case involving Rare Whiskey 101 and the infamous fake Macallan. In 2017, a Chinese millionaire visited a luxury Swiss hotel bar and purchased what he believed to be an ultra-rare bottle of Macallan 1878 for a staggering $10,000. This bottle, according to the label, had supposedly been resting for nearly 140 years. But something didn't feel quite right. Out of curiosity, and perhaps a little suspicion, he sent the whiskey for professional testing. The results were jaw-dropping. This so-called 19th century treasure wasn't from the 1800s at all. In fact, it turned out to be a relatively modern blend, dating back only to the 1970s. The age statement, the label, the mystique, all of it was an elaborate illusion. That same year, the whiskey authentication firm Rare Whiskey 101 launched a broader investigation into the authenticity of rare Scotch on the market. They tested 55 bottles claimed to be rare or vintage. The outcome was alarming. 21 of those bottles were proven to be outright fakes. These weren't just cheap knockoffs either. They were bottles that collectors and investors had paid enormous sums for, believing them to be genuine pieces of liquid history. The scandal didn't just embarrass collectors. It shook the entire rare whiskey industry. So how do even experts get duped? Many fake bottles are sold at private auctions, where authenticity checks are minimal. Others change hands in secondary markets like Facebook groups, forums, or peer-to-peer trades, often based on trust. And when buyers are obsessed with owning the rarest dram, they're willing to overlook small inconsistencies. Provenance letters and certificates can be forged too, making even paperwork unreliable. Here's how you can protect yourself from whiskey forgery. Check the label and print. Look for pixelation, smudges, or incorrect fonts. Use a magnifying glass. 2. Inspect the closure. Is the wax seal too perfect? Is the cork new-looking on an old bottle? 3. Weight in glass. Older bottles may be thicker, heavier, and hand-blown. 4. Verify provenance. Request full history and documentation, not just a certificate. 5. Use UV light. Some fakes use modern ink which glows under UV6. Third-party verification. Send bottles to labs like Rare Whiskey 101 or Whiskey Auctioneer for carbon dating and forensic testing. Thankfully, the whiskey world is catching up. Some distilleries now use blockchain-based tracking, tamper-proof holograms, and serialized QR codes. Auction houses have also become stricter. Some even reject bottles without full documentation. But the fight is ongoing, and education is our best weapon. So next time you buy a rare bottle, remember, a beautiful label doesn't always mean a beautiful truth. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep sipping smart. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like, share, and subscribe for more rare stories from the world of fine spirits. Cheers.